Could be a. Okay, there it is. Aloha. Good afternoon. This is Andrew Aloha live out of Tucson, Arizona, with Spiritual Homes Productions on Webinar Jam. Establishing and maintain right relationships through human values. Aloha and welcome to today's GPS Paranormal Golden Age Hangout, a series of webinars that we've been doing all week long. And today, we're working right now. We have with us Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops. Aloha, Dr. Margaret.
Hello, Andrew. I want to thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you so much.
I can hear you.
Thank you so much for doing this webinar. I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. And so we're going to be talking to Dr. Margaret all the way out of Lake Havasu. Is that right?
Yes, in Arizona. It's 110 out there now.
There might be a yeah, there might be a yeah, I'm in Tucson. It probably is about the same heat up there right now. Right now, I'm bringing up. Somehow I lost my page for all the itinerary of all the oh well, come on. Oh, I forgot. I remember I did this one last time. Yeah. Mercury retrograde is doing a number on me this month, so
Absolutely.
I'm really having to fight it, but that's okay. I'll deal with it. Here we go. So anyhow, Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops. Come on, let's go. Today, like right now, we'll be talking about. Well, she's going to be talking about the other side. Where now you have a radio show, another radio show that you do, don't you? Right?
Yes, I do. I have Journey into an Unknown World, in which
Dr. Margaret?
I talk about the unusual, the strange, the different. This one I make it a little bit different. I put a twist on it. So it's quite a good show, Journey into the Unknown World. And of course, I've written a book about the spirit world. So there's a lot with that name going out there on the web. So you can find me there. So today I'm going to be talking about that.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just having a hard time with my computer. It has its own mind sometimes, and sometimes it's funny because if I threaten it, like it all of a sudden it shapes up. The other day I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna throw you out the door or something like that. I don't remember what I said, but all of a sudden it was working fine after that. So I think if I threaten it, maybe it'll shape up. I'm not sure, but anyhow, as soon as I can get to my website page, we'll give you a formal introduction, and then we'll go from there. So, oh, I know. So, let me see. This is a good time to just take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just relax. There you go. Just relax, and we'll be fine. Okay. So, yeah, Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops is going to be connecting us with your loved ones, which is easy. Learn how we pass through death and journey into the spirit world. Also, what it is like there, and how to connect with your loved ones through psychic awareness and training. Dr. Margaret experienced clinical death and came back with conscious knowledge of the other side, which she will share with you. In her capacity as a British medium, she will also regale you with stories about channeling entities ranging from loved family members to exalted spirit guides. So anyhow, so why don't we go like this? Why don't you introduce yourself, Dr. Margaret? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from, and how you got to be where you're at right now, and then we'll talk about connecting to the other side.
Yeah, well, we have to be very honest about anything that we're going to do, and I'd like to kind of use the computer a little bit here for a minute and say, you can go by choice, and you can choose who you want to talk to and who you don't want to talk to on Skype, or you can look and search and find whoever you want to find on the computer, well, in the oneness, you can do the same. So if I wanted to talk to a caveman of millions of years ago kind of thing, I can find that person. Or if I wanted to talk to Auntie Sally who just passed over, I could find that person. But the problem is, having shared through hundreds and thousands of people that have lived on this planet and then died and maybe reincarnated and they got a new form and a new face, how are you going to know them? So, as a British medium, being able to channel spirit since I was a small child, I started, like everyone else, going through the negativity of life, fighting, to exist in some way, and slowly being a medium bit by bit, that I became famous in England. And I was famous for looking outside of me at those people for what they asked. What was their question? What did they want to know about their future or their purpose and direction? And I had a lot of information that poured through me, but I was not seeing me. I was not aware of me. And so what happened was I actually started a lot of pressure. I had divorce issues. I had different things coming down and I started to shake. And I went to my doctor, and he said, "Well, if you don't take these pills, you've got Parkinson's. If you don't take these pills, you'll get worse, and you'll have a breakdown." I'm like, "No, no, I've got all my work. I've got my people to take care of." And of course, when the pill wore off, I thought, oh, maybe I didn't take one, so I take another. And over time, I OD'd without knowing it. And, the next thing I know, they had to drag me off to hospital and I clinically died. And in that moment, I remember it very well because being a medium and being used to talking to people all the time, I decided that I didn't want to be here. It was too much, there's too many responsibilities and so on. And there were my spirit guides telling me, look, you haven't started yet. You've only just been breaking ground. And it's what? Don't tell me that. And I went to this darkness. And I thought, oh, I just want to go to sleep. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. And the next thing I knew, I was aware of the oneness in all the voices and all the things that went on and all my history of all the things I'd done with my spirit guides, and suddenly it was like ding dong in my brain, ding dong in my eyes, ding dong in my ears. It was like I have to survive. I have to come back. And at that time, I didn't know what had happened to me. Okay. I woke up in the hospital, and of course they said, "Why were you wanting to die?" And I'm like, "What? I didn't." And then I realized, yes, I did. But once I got to terms with it and overcome the drug that I was given, which by the way was a heroin derivative, which my doctor apologized to me about afterwards, and which I went on to help people with drug uh, conditions and so on. As I was doing that and I saw all these different things about people, I started to realize that I knew much more than I'd consciously remembered before as a medium. Suddenly, I knew everything about the spirit world. And so I started to write books. I wrote Journey into an Unknown World, which was originally called The Way to Oneness. It's a learning book. It explained all the planes of evolution. There were 7 of them, and within the 7 planes, there's 7 levels. And so as I opened up my mind to understand this, and I was doing a lot of out of body work during those years, been doing that since I was a child. So it wasn't strange to me to recall even more information. And as time went on, I started to realize that I had a coding. I had a vibration within me which caused me to be the person I am today. My personality, my character traits, my DNA, my RNA. Back in those days, nobody knew about cellular neuromuscular memory. Okay? I'll say it again. Cellular, that's the body. Neuro is the nervous system from the brain. Muscular, the memory in the way that we move our body. So, for example, if I go like this, you might say, well, I'm just moving my fingers. But my brain is saying, I remember a billion trillion ways I use these fingers throughout my life, and associated with that, my past lives and the memories. So let's come back to what happened to me when I was at that point of death. I basically did the same as I do every night. I drifted into a deep sleep. I went into the darkness just like we do. Little ramblings, little memories. I was shifting and associating all the things that I'd done in my life. And at that time, I was only 37, now I'm 72, so it's a long time ago. But I knew who I was in my past lives. I was looking at the lives that I'd coded into this life. And it was all flashing so fast beyond anything that we normally consciously can understand because we're not used to the brain moving at such a rapid speed. You know what? Years later, the university was studying and they said they have proved that the brain moves faster than the speed of light. That's very fast. So by the time you consciously think, oh, I'm sitting in this chair, your brain has already processed the billion and one times you sat in the chair, what position you were in, what you were thinking, what you were feeling, what you were doing at all these different times that you sat down. So when I went into this space of correlating all that I was consciously, I moved to my subconscious, all these memories of this life, and from there into my deep subconscious. And at that point, I was spirit. My body had stopped. And as I was in that state, I was completely connected with many of my spirit guides that were familiar to me because I've been a channel medium for so long. But at the same time, I became aware of many, many other spirits that I hadn't known before in a conscious way. And as I connected, I was beginning to realize there were billions of spirits around me, not one or two. And at that point, I realized I was part of what Catholics call the Holy Ghost. I was one with universal consciousness. I was able to know anything about anyone. I wrote in some of my books about my experiences with Jesus and how he showed me how he could share his mind with many, many people. So it wasn't so much foreign to me, but it was rather like, wow, I can do this too. So once I understood that, and this is a fleeting second of awareness, I began to be able to see myself as light, as a being of light, and to recognize that other people were also beings of light, and that many of them had kind of forgotten, switched off, and didn't really know who they were. And then I came spinning, I felt this thump in my chest, and I felt this prick in my heart, and I felt my blood system kick in, and I knew I'd been brought back. But of course, I was still unconscious physically. So I couldn't get up and walk away and say, hey, look, this is just what I've gone through.
Mm,
So I cleverly marked my body on the cellular neuromuscular memory. I put what I'd awakened to into my system, into my brain. And then over a period of time, pretty quickly, about 6 months, I awakened to the oneness consciousness, which for me was incredible. And I started to teach people about the oneness. People were actually saying to me back in those days, what is the oneness? I've never heard of it. So I had to explain to people it's how everyone is in unity, in completion, no matter what level they're on. And of course, people talk about the people, the devil, or something negative, and they talk about angels and so on. I had come back with the understanding that all was now, all was active, everything was interactive, and nothing was separated. So you can imagine how it was when I started telling everybody this isn't anybody evil, or even anybody super duper special. We're all special, we're all evil, we're all both, we're all a part of the whole. And it was radical. People didn't understand that. And here we are today with a lot more awareness going on. Now, back in those days, I used to be a minister and do the church services, and everybody liked to know about life after death, what happens in the spirit world. So I got to tell a lot of people about a lot of things that were going on in those days. But the main thing that was most interesting to me was the moment of death. So I want to go over that for anyone who's listening. How would you feel in your moment of death? Well, the bottom line is your spirit kicks in, your deep subconscious kicks in, and in that moment, you find yourself saying, I've come to an end, I'm processing, I'm assimilating, and you're going to this dream world, you're going to this dream state, as I mentioned earlier. And then, as you begin to realize you've learned the lessons that you came to learn, the next thing you know, you're drifting out of your body. And the amazing thing is, there are all your friends. Not necessarily your mom or your dad and the people that you think you're going to see, but rather someone that you've long forgotten, like a way, way old friend from back in the time when, and you think, I know this person, I kind of recall that they were not alive anymore, and you start to understand and accept that if you can see them, then you must be passing over. And in that moment, great joy, it doesn't matter how much suffering you've had. I had to deal with suicidal cases. I've dealt with uh, war scenarios, being born in 1942 with bombs dropping around me. There were lots of people who were dying, and as a medium, I had to help them go to the spirit world.
And there still
And
is.
so, yeah, and still is. Unfortunately, there's an awful lot of death on this planet right now. And any of us who are psychic, who are mediums, and who are in some way praying and helping, are helping them pass over. But actually, what we really need to do now is to teach people to not be afraid of death, but rather to embrace it, because when your time comes, even if it's a bullet hitting you in the second, you're over, it's your time. People say, well, it shouldn't have happened and so on. But the bottom line is that when we cross over, we're glad, we're happy. There's no part of self saying, I could have or should have on my part. We embrace the fact that we are rejoicing that we are in spirit. And once we get into the spirit world, we want to learn, we want to recover who we are. So let's take the scenario of someone who's had cancer, they've been fighting it for a long time, and finally, families all around, they know it's time to leave. And what happens is there's a two world colliding sort of scenario. They are seeing family and they're seeing their dead relatives or friends and associates, could be anyone, could be a spirit guide, don't know, they're watching. They are correlating, they're mixing them up. They have to see how everything integrates like my fingers. And when they see that, there's this moment of unity between this world and the next world. And at that point, there is a sense of letting go of the body. And as we let go of the body, we begin to let the energies in every cell of our body come out. I'd like you to think of what it's like with speckles of sun dust. It's all like wonderful colors that are seen there. And that's what our spirit looks like. It comes out like speckles of dust and formulates the same image we've had throughout our lives. because that's where we're at that time. At that point, we feel the energy of the people that we've loved from the side, and we quite happily go with them into the spirit world. We help them to understand that they've passed in the blink of an eye. Now, what if they're in a coma? It might be that they have to come out in their thinking, I need to recover. So we'll take them to a hospital in the spirit world. And they will be there for a little while and they're recovering because that's what the association is with hospitals. And in no time at all, they're sitting up, walking around, going, wow, I feel so much better. In comes old friends, came to visit. They say, didn't you pass over? Yeah, I did. And then they get the idea and they realize they've passed over themselves. And now they want to meet all their friends, all their family, everyone. You know, when my mom passed over, I watched her pass. And she was actually taken and introduced to all the people back in her life, going back in time until she saw her mom, her dad, and all these people. And then she seemed to know her best friends. And in the blink of an eye, her crippled body disappeared. She was getting younger, vibrant, and her limp went. And she was able to walk into the oneness, kind of like a movie, really. And it was so happy. It was so wonderful. It was a precious moment for me to see that she passed over without any issues.
Now,
So then what happened?
this oneness is not the same oneness movement that's coming out of India. This is a different oneness. Is that correct?
The oneness that people talk about in India is in the lower self consciousness. So let's bring it down into form and say, whether you like it or not, you are connected with every single human being, every animal, every plant, everything that is in existence, because this is the lower self of the oneness. When you're in the higher self of the oneness, you're connected to everything that is not in our form. So we're also connected to other dimensions. We're connected to aliens. We're connected to anything you can imagine, because what you can imagine already exists. So when you're in the oneness, you go into a spirit world consciousness because that's what you brought from this time. And you will find there are temples, there are churches, there are synagogues, whatever it is, whatever religion, philosophy you had, if you're still holding on to that from an earthly time, it will be there for you. And you will congregate with people of like mind. But there are also halls of learning. They're gorgeous. They're how we want to see them. You know, some are glass, some are gold, some are silver,
Got
some
it.
are crystals. People relative to how you relate to educating the oneness. And when we go there, there are halls of learning. We can look back, we can see the absolute entire history, the evolution of this earth. It's very interesting, by the way, because you can actually see the first person that invented the idea of a wheel with a stone where they were able to roll it and get the idea. Everything we do comes out of ideas, imagination, trial and effort, needs of things we want here on earth. But in the oneness, we don't have to work so hard. We can just think, well, how am I going to get this stone, to work for me? And suddenly, hey, presto, we know because we can pull from other dimensions of creation. The universe, in all its form, is constantly creating, destroying, integrating. So the people who are in the oneness, they can recover themselves, get over their illness, do whatever they need to do. And at that point, we're going to think, I need to get closure on this life. Maybe I need to go back with my spirit guides, my elders, master teachers, to my family that I've left behind and say, hey, I'm fine in this spirit world. So when they do, they can find someone like me that's a medium who can bring that consciousness to the people who are left behind. The people who are left behind are learning lessons by losing the person they've loved the most. They're starting to appreciate the relationship they had. They're starting to understand their freedom, their independence. They're starting to realize they can become more. And so the return of a loved one is basically to prove their survival, they're happy in the spirit world, and hey, I'm giving you encouragement to go on and enjoy yourself with the rest of your life. It gives me great pleasure actually to be able to do this for people. And it never ceases to amaze me how the loved ones give us information that the person who's sitting with me absolutely knows I don't know. You know, for example, let's say someone's with me, grandma's there in my head, connected to me spiritually, spirit guides are there. And suddenly grandma says, you know, when I was 16, I used to walk around talking to people about how to make daisy chains. Sounds so insignificant. But maybe the person I'm sitting with says, you know, I remember this was a treasured memory when my grandma showed me how to make a daisy chain. Now, that that connects the incredible moment of a visit, the confirmation of a long ago memory forgotten, where the person really knows I'm not reading their mind, I'm not doing any fancy tricks, and it must be the relative that's coming back to prove that it is them. And that's a joyful moment. But of course, over time, we get on with our lives. You know, my mum's been passed for 8 years now. I think about her, but she doesn't pop in like she used to and appear to me all the time because she now knows that I've learned to have completion from her. So what happens to our relatives in the spirit world? Well, they want to deprogram themselves of the current life and integrate it with all the other lives they've had. And in some way find a common stream through the many lives I've had. I'm working on myself. I'm a warrior type. And a warrior type doesn't go out and fight battles, but rather cuts a square. And that pathway is hopefully followed by others to come. So when I talk about my experiences in the abandonment, you know, someone else will in some way pick that up and add to it. Maybe I'll be gone 100 years from now, but someone will take whatever it is we start and move it up. Let's take an example of the light bulb. You know, so long ago that was considered a miracle. And here we are today with a whole different type of lighting that comes to us. There are so many things we could talk about. Well, in the oneness, where does that inspiration come from? It's already created, it's already in existence in the oneness. So before we come to be born, we set ourselves up to have to recall what is in oneness. And, you know, we come here with a little program within our minds that we want to share with our family, with the people come in and out of our lives. And some of us make a career of it, such as myself. You know, Andrew, you're doing a very wonderful thing, you know, bringing so many major uh, leaders who are pioneers in the strange, the unusual, or the help, the issues about feeling good, feeling mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in harmony. And in a time when there are so many people who are angry and frustrated and can't get things together, our work, this webinar you're doing, is so important for so many people who have no idea how to share themselves. So the
Absolutely.
essence of oneness now is that, just that. The higher self, the angels that pick up, the archangels, the brethren, the consciousness of universal awareness is flowing down now to so many people. And of course, The best time it comes into their consciousness is when they're having a crisis. Because that's when you stop and you say, why is this happening to me? I've been good at doing this and I've been doing that, and why doesn't this person understand me? And how is it these relationships don't work and so on? And at that point, when we get to our lowest of low, just like I did all those years ago, what we actually do is we say, this has got to stop. There's got to be another alternative way.
Exactly.
There's got to be some better things in life than this. I don't want people controlling me and telling me, do this in a certain way. I want to be free. I want to have my freedom to express myself. But in oneness, in the spirit world, as we call it, you have that freedom. I mean, you don't even have to think about opening the door unless you create one and you decide that you need to open the door. Because all that happens is if you're not happy with the door, it disappears. You see, everything is made out of the ether. If you think about a cell in your body, it is ectoplasm and endoplasm. The ectoplasm carries your spirit. It is your spirit. It is your spirit when you're in your deep subconscious that programs your brain to work. And through that, work your body. So it's your spirit that wants to get up and move you from room to room. And of course, your spirit, your body is heavy. But in the spirit world, it's not. In the spirit world, you only think I want to be with Julie or Tom, and you're there. You don't have to travel on a train or boat. You don't have to work out whether they're going to be ready to receive you or not, because the empathy, the speaking, the vibration of oneness lets you know immediately you are aware of someone you want to visit, whether they're available or not. If they're not available, they're involved with something else you don't want to encroach, you wait. You have patience, you have tolerance, you have trust, you have inner peace, you have tranquility. That is a win. Here on earth, it's hard to have because as soon as we think, okay, I've got it together, yep, there's going to be someone banging on the door, there'll be some kind of disruption to your inner peace. And here on this earth, we learn to appreciate every moment, every day of our life. Most of us live in the past, planning the future, and are not fully omnipresent. In the oneness, we are fully omnipresent all the time. So there's no question of doubt, there's no question of anxiety or worry or fear that something's going to go wrong. There's only a passion to experience more. So you seek out spirits that are more advanced than you. In other words, they're older than you. They were activated long before you were. And they want to be able to talk to you in some kind of way to share when you're ready. You know the old saying, the teacher appears when the student asks, and vice versa. Well, a lot of that goes on in the spirit world. There's a hall of music. It's gorgeous. You can go there and you can hear the most angelic music you can imagine. And it tinkles, it makes you shiver, it vibrates your spirit gets resonated to such a moment of divine attunement that you feel the oneness. You are the oneness. And anything you want to talk about is there in your consciousness. There are rooms in the halls of learning where you can think about whatever you want to think about. It could be a science project, it could be something that happened on Earth or in some other planet, eons of time ago. And as you attune to it, it's there. It's like a video before your very eyes surrounding you. It's so dimensional. You're there. You don't have to look at it and imagine the feeling, the smells, the sounds. They're all there. Your spirit can create, learn, feel, touch by memory. Recreate those things for you. And while you're doing that, you know what the blessing is? billions of other spirits in the oneness who come and share it with you. I love to teach in the oneness. When I'm teaching here on earth, I'm very aware of, say, 100 people in the room, but I'm also aware of maybe another thousands are listening from the spirit world who come because what I'm talking about is interesting to them. So in these planes of evolution in the spirit world, there are levels of ascension. And we all have to kind of climb the ladder and slip down a few times, climb up the ladder again and slip down a few times. Because by doing that, we're testing ourselves. We're having some fun. We're having some pleasure at discovering what it's like to come out of being a light breeze of you, if you think of it that way, of energy. Right now, lots of people are capturing orbs on their photos, okay? And they're saying, yes, these are spirit guides. They are. We don't have to have a human form in the spirit world. We can be an We can be a rabbit who wants to be. We can be anything we want to be. Whatever we are, it's relative to having an experience, and that will resonate outward. And when it hits other people, whether they're on earth or in the spirit world, or the oneness, you feel love. Love that you exist, love that you are part of all that exists, and you realize just how important you as one fragment of the whole of creation, one fragment of the whole of oneness consciousness is vital to the unity of all that is. I had a lot of people back in the 60s, 50s, 60s saying, everybody that's evil will be put in hell, gloom and gloom, and will be cast out and locked out and never be able to be saved by God. Thank goodness we've moved on from there, because now we know that no one is cast out, no one is forgotten, no one is lost, because every fragment in existence, whatever form it takes, is part of the oneness, is the whole that is. And it needs to be integrated. So I'm coming back to my hands again, constantly moving in, out, back and forward, up and down, round and around. Whatever form it takes is interactive. I wrote a book recently called Quantum Entanglement, a Paranormal Point of View. I've taken Einstein's theory, and with my spirit guides and universal consciousness of oneness, we wrote this book in 5 days. And thanks to my husband, Peter Payne Foods, who edits all my work, it's been out and on sale now for about 4 months. And it's coming out. I know there are a lot of people who have a lot of questions about what the oneness is like. So I'd like to tell a few stories. I've been out of body for years. I used to travel, and here's one example. I was in the spirit world, and I was teaching the young children that had passed over. Some of them had leukemia, cancer, which was a big thing back in those days. And so here those children were in the spirit world, and I was teaching them to lose their idea of walking through doors, and that by mind, by energy, passion, desire, they could move from one place to another very quickly. So I'd set up a little house, dining table, vase on it, different things in the room, and I wanted them to move from where I was out in the garden and move their mind, move their heart, move their spirits, go peep in the window, and then come straight back and tell me without running, without hopping, skipping, and jumping like kids do. I'm happy to say that the 6 children I had, they saw that feeling immediately. They sensed they could just wish they were there, as it were, and they were. They saw the room and they wished themselves back to me, and they were able to tell me they could touch one little boy. He didn't. He was still very steeped in the idea that he had to walk. So what did I do? I picked him up. He was only 5 or 6. I picked him up, held him in my arms, and we're just supposed to see the house and have a look and reach back while the other children waited. And they all were laughing and giggling and having so much fun that afterwards, just like children, I had to say to them, hey, hey, you can't be wishing too far. You can't wish too much. And I told them a story of me. And I wished I could go back and see prehistoric times. I wanted to see the dinosaurs and see what they were like. Well, okay, I was in a museum. I was at a party in Australia, and I didn't see all these little fossils in Britain. And I thought, oh, I can go back in time. And I heard Sister Teresa, one of my guides, say to me, no, no, you're not ready, Margaret. You're too late. I'd already made the wish. So there I was, right in front of another. Um, so someone showing me something. There's a question. What was the question I was being told? Uh, okay, so basically ask how you connect with the dead. I'm at the moment saying how we connect with the spirit. So just to put on hold a little bit and finish my statement. So there I was, I manifested myself back right in front of one of those enormous man-eating dinosaurs. The was it Tyrannosaurus Rex, I think it's called. Freaked me out, lashed me all the way back into my body. I didn't come back in the nice scenario that I am, set here now. I felt like I was half in, half out, had a thumping headache, and felt terrible. I had to take a few sleeping pills, knock myself out, come out of the body, and come back in to feel good again. So, what do we do as human beings in terms of our life and stress? Before we sleep, we come out of body. We don't know we're coming out of body, but during that time we connect with our spirit guides, our loved ones, and we talk with them and we chat with them. And we might even go into the spirit world like I do and remember it. And then we come floating back to our body and we kind of dream things like we've been flying or that we kind of wake up, but we feel we can't move our body yet because the spirit's awake, the body's still asleep. We have kind of weird sensations and moments that we can very clear in our mind. I dreamed, or I know, I connected to with mom, dad, whoever it is I've just lost. I feel that connection. I feel they're safe because we're able to do this out of body ourselves. And more people now of their spirit self that they don't even think about the fact that they can't connect with the spirit world. You see, for years, we've changed our point of view. We no longer doubt that the spirit world exists. We now believe it. But there are people who are new to this idea or who have blocked off their spirit self so they don't know. So when I have someone come to me and they ask me, well, how can I connect with my dead relative? How can I do? What can I do? I always say the best thing is to switch off, meditate, go to sleep, think of that person, and trust yourself you'll connect. But if you really, really can't do that because you've got coding in your soul vibration because you've chosen to not use your spirit consciously in this life, then come to someone like me. I will sit in a session with you, or someone else will, wherever you are. But I always say this: make sure they're not flakes. We don't want someone who's breaking eggs to get rid of the curse. We want someone that's really trained in mediumship so that they can attune to their spirit guides and your spirit guides and the spirit guides with your relative that's crossed over into the oneness. We have a little party going on, if you like. And then we can give you all the information that your relative that's passed over wants to give to prove that they have survived in the oneness and are happy. And it's one thing I do say though, remember this, just like you need time to recover from the flu, they need time to recover from the life they've lived. I
Mm.
had someone who did a story now that happened for me. I was in my second marriage, and my mother-in-law at that time husband died suddenly of a heart attack. That night I'm in bed. My spirit guide called into because he was in a panic. He was saying, I'm very concerned about mother because mother is not grieving and bereaving. Someone will stay with her for at least 2 weeks. And I promised him that we would make that happen. I asked him why, and he said because she will try and kill herself on the 10th day. And then Spirit Guides took him away because he needs to not worry about her. He needed to go to the spirit world and recover from his heart attack that had killed him. So I immediately woke up my husband there and I said, look, we have to get to your mother. She's going to die in 10 days. And he said, well, we'll call my sister and so on and so forth. The short version of that is everyone stayed with her for 10 days. She was like, it's okay, Fred's fine. I know he's in the oneness. And then she would in the next breath say, I'll put on the kettle because Fred will be home for tea. On the 10th day, nothing had happened. My sister-in-law stayed with her, said, I am going home. I've got my family career things to do. She went up the road to get some shopping to leave food for Mom. When she got up the road, she realized she'd literally forgotten her money purse. So she turned away and went back to town. She walked in the front door to see mother-in-law with a whole bottle of pills starting to take them. Of course, we saved her life that day. She broke down, she cried, she mourned the loss of him, Fred, and as a result was able to get up and go with her life. And 3 months later, Fred was brought back to me with clear thoughts. I'm now at peace in the spirit world, and I was able to sit with my mother-in-law and give her the messages of things she had never shared with me that she had done with you long before I'd ever come into their life. And so she really, really knew what was happening. And she went on to rebuild and to be a very happy woman to live to be 82. So you see, there are good stories about the oneness that people can learn. I'm always available to help anyone who feels they really need to connect with oneness, with a spirit guide, or with their loved ones. And you can always find me on my website, which is sumariscenter.com. It's S for sugar, U, M for mother, A, R, I, S for sugar again, center, spelled American, CENTER.com. I know there are many people around the world that could be listening, and I know there are over 7,000 people every month listening to my radio show, which is only half an hour for journey into an unknown world that I teach from. In other words, I share information from obesity to post-traumatic stress disorder to spirit world guides, other dimensions, aliens. Yes, we do have alien guides. Yes, we have lived with aliens in other planets and other forms and dimensions. So if you're an old soul and if you're open to developing your psyche, your spirit self, then I'd love to help you and teach you to do that. In fact, I have Sumari's Education Center, which is a psychic development course online. So you might want to go there and have a look. It's just out and it's very reasonably priced. And you can learn and you can talk and you can have access to the university program. I know how important it is for the children today. They're very psychic. Mothers, we need to teach the children to be very psychic and to know that there is a spirit world and there are aliens and to experience them for themselves because they're coming in with their spirit right up front, right here in their consciousness. Unlike my generation, where most of them had it worn back here. So we need to teach the children that there is life after death, that we don't need to be taking guns and shooting kids in school. Instead, we need to be using our spirit. Our spirit comes through psychometry, a sense of hearing, the clairvoyance, sense of hearing, seeing, If their audience is listening and hearing and clairsentience, our senses limitation in this body. We need to use it all. We need to be able to know and understand that our spirit is working in this body. That this body is my crop, if you like, my cloth, my coat for the day, and I'm wearing it throughout my life so that I can share my spirit with other people who are also in their bodies wearing their coats. But when we get to the spirit world, off comes this coat, off comes this space, and we start to vibrate with the many lives that. I explain a lot of this in my book, Journey into an Unknown World, The Way to Oneness Revisited. I've got 10 books. If you're really, really interested, you're listening to this, and you really want to know what the spirit world is like, that's the book to get because it'll teach you. There's lots of meditations in there. If you're having a lot of issues and you feel rejected, I've got a book here that I might want to recommend because it tells you about your coding that you bring in from the oneness that will allow you to understand that you set yourself up for the lessons you're having. And you can shift your point of view, just like I did. And you can awaken to the power of your spirit in this life. So, Andrew, how are we doing for time?
We have about 10 minutes left.
Okay, because I don't want to run over, and I know people will have to have breaks and things before the next speaker. So I just want to talk a little bit about the psychic skills for all of us on Earth. As spirit is a channeler, and if you study your psychic development, you can actually go into a yoga-like state, a meditation state, a hypnotic state, an alpha state. There's many words for it, but whatever you call it, it's a moment of being. And in that moment of being, your mind is not judging. You're not controlling it. You're not manipulating. A lot of people say to me, I really, really try to meditate and I can't switch off my mind. It's always the issues, or like I have to go do the washing next, or the phone's going to go, or something like this. What I want to say to everyone that's listening is a moment of inner peace is a hypnoidal moment. And a hypnoidal moment is not something that someone's controlling you with. Like, for example, you're driving down the road in your car and you suddenly find yourself off somewhere in a sort of dreamlike state, and then someone in front of you hits the brakes, and suddenly you're back and you know you're driving and so on. We do this all the time. We switch to the hypnoidal moment. What we need to do is to teach people how to go into the theta. The theta is where you create. The theta is where you tell yourself that you can better. So I'd like to leave everyone with a little meditation thing to do. So perhaps Andrew, you can join in with me. I want everyone to take that deep breath in and out slowly, slowly out. And that one more time just to get the idea. Breathing in, hold it for a second, and breathe out. Now, as you do that, I want you to think of yourself as you have your conscious, your everyday mind, your subconscious mind, your memories of all the things you've ever done in this life, and you have your spirit mind with your subconscious. I want you to think of three balls. And as you think of three balls, they're all coming together to join, to unite as one. It's like bringing your fingers together. And now, I'd like you to bring your fingers together, just like line up, and you can open your eyes. You can look at your hands. You can see they're joined together. That's to tell you that consciously you can allow that to happen when you choose to sit down, put your hands together, put them on your lap, take a deep breath, think of these three balls coming together as one, and say to yourself, I am connected to the oneness, and then just breathe. And when you've had enough receiving information, receiving emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual connections. All you have to do is count yourself awake. So let's do that. One, two, three, you're ready to wake up. Four, you want to open your eyes, so open your eyes. Take a look at me, okay? And five, wide awake. That puts you in charge. That puts you in charge of yourself. It allows you to let your spirit take you where you want to go. And then when you've had enough of chatting with your spirit guides and chatting with your relatives and loved ones, all you have to do is count yourself awake. One, two, three, four, five. My eyes are open. I'm wide awake. So I encourage everyone go study your psychic development, read books, do whatever it takes for you to feel at peace with yourself. Let your loved ones be at peace with themselves in the mornings. Give them a chance to recover. They'll come back. They'll give you a sense through psychometry of their presence. You don't have to talk to them unless you really, really need to. They're not going to advise you about your issues. Someone like me will. As a medium, channel your spirit guides who are going to give you the advice you need. So, how are we doing, Andrew? How are you
So we
feeling?
got about 4 minutes left, Dr. Margaret. And first of all, if people want to get a hold of you for a session or for doing a workshop or whatever, how do they do that?
Well, I did say earlier the website, which is www. Sumari Center, S-U-M for mother, A-R-I-S, S for sugar, both ends. Center, C. They can email me if they like. I do answer all my emails. Dr. Margaret, that's M-A-R-G-A-R-E-T, RBC for my initials, at gmail.com. If they go to my center, they'll find that email there, and they'll also find my phone number, because yes, I answer the phone, or Dr. Steve answers the phone. We do not ignore anyone, okay? We're not about pushing classes or courses, we're about helping people, and we do help people in need. We have some answers, and we're ready to share. So that's the nature of our work. That's the way we help people. And of course, the
Now,
radio, Journey into an Unknown World, go there. There's lots of lessons I teach them. Yep.
got it, got it. And so we got about 2 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to put out there that we haven't talked about yet? Do you have any
Well,
workshops coming up, any presentations coming up, or anything like that?
I would just like to remind everyone that we are going to be doing the live uh, in like, help me, Scottsdale, that's right. I couldn't think where I was. Changing my brain pattern here down to a different level. You know, Scottsdale's going to be great because people can come there and meet us, all right?
Got it,
So,
got it.
you want to tell people something about it?
What are you talking about?
The I can't remember the word. You're doing an event with us all in Scottsdale, right?
Right now that
Yeah.
we're still working on piecing it together, but we're talking about doing a live version of this in Scottsdale in October. But
Yeah.
right now we're still working with getting it grounded. So right now we're but if people want to sign up for the join webinar or you go to spiritualimageproductions.com, sign up for the email list, that we'll keep you posted about that for sure.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be a phenomenal thing if we can pull that off.
Yes, yeah.
Um, I'm going to be in Japan again this year in September. I'm going to be
Okay.
there. Okay. I'm teaching locally here in Lake Havasu City. I'm going to be doing psychic development for anyone who's in the surrounding areas of Arizona or like that. I'm generally always teaching some way, somehow. I'm offering for people who are interested, they might want their encoded soul structure reading, and that really would tell them who they are as a spirit, how old they are, what archetype there is encoded within them, and why their character and personality is the way they are, and why they chose their mother and father, all that stuff, their ancestry. There's a very deep deep reading channel for them that will last them that whole night. And then, of course, people want to have current issues sorted, so we'll do that for them. And I have a package deal that is very reasonable. So just connect with me online through the phone, through my website, and we'll sort it out.
Okay,
There's
good.
nothing on the way. That's the way it is. Okay?
I want to thank you for being here, Dr. Margaret, and sharing your information with us. And again, if you want to get a session with her or keep up with her, get a hold of her. Thank you all for being here. Have a God-guided weekend. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.
Thank you, Andrew.